Small group leaders, welcome to week 5 of our time together in the book of First Corinthians. We're going to be in First Corinthians chapter 4, verses 1 through 16 this week. And chapter 4 is really all about the role of the pastor, the role of the apostle. He says here in the ministry of the apostles is what it's titled in your English translations of the Bible. And this is really Paul saying, here is how we are to view those whom God has put over us. So how you view your leaders, how you view your pastors, and really what is their heart for the people of God. And so, as I said before, Christianity is a race to the basement. It's a race about who is going to serve the most. And Paul is saying that if you are a leader of the church, which all of you are, then service is what you are after. It's all about dying to yourself. It's all about not going after self-congratulation. It's not going after the applause of the people, but instead it is hiding behind Jesus and allowing people to see him. And this might be really a passage for a lot of the people in your groups who have experienced some bad pastoring, some spiritual abuse. It kind of runs rampant. We're not blind to that or oblivious to it. We know that people get into ministry for the wrong reasons all the time. And Scripture tells us that God is going to deal with them. Scripture tells us not to follow anyone that's not following Christ. And so when we think of our leaders, especially as this Corinthian church, remember one of the divisions is Paul better than Apollos? Is Apollos better than Peter? Is Peter better than Jesus? All of those are questions being answered, or rather questions being asked. And Paul is saying, no leader worth his salt, no leader worth his weight longs for applause, because that's not what Jesus did. Jesus, the only perfect person that ever lived, and they killed him for it. He always sought the good of his bride, the good of his church first, and the leaders are to do that as well. And so how do we keep a check on our pride? How do we repent of that? How has Jesus displayed gospel humility for us? There's an old saying from St. Augustine back in the 4th century that the qualifications of a pastor are 1, humility, 2, humility, and 3, humility. That if he could tell pastors anything, it is that humility is the key to this whole thing. And I would say that to you as small group leaders, as those that we have looked at and seen as gifted, put in a role of leadership. We would say, don't let the devil get a foothold. Remain humble and know that Jesus is at work in and through you. All that we have, we do all the preparation, we do all the hard work, but it is God who grows all of this. That's what Paul is telling the people here in this church, and that's what he's telling us. To avoid the pitfalls of leadership, Randy Drawn says that the pastor is often the most dangerous person in the church, and we want to avoid that, and Paul kind of outlines that for us. And so thankful to be with you, thankful for your service to us. You serve, and you serve well. So again, if you have any questions about chapter 4 here in week 5, do reach out to the discipleship director at your campus. You can reach out to myself, any of your pastors. We would love to help. So enjoy week 5 of our time together.